Carter Krishna are here for the Florida Squeeze. The Democrats had a huge statewide rally at the Villages on Monday. And it's important to understand something very, very apparent with the Democrats' strategy in Florida. It's that they're always 6 to 8 years behind demographic trends. They're always catching up to things after the fact and well after the Republicans have exploited it. So the Democrats and the national media have become very obsessed with the Villages since about 2018, 2020. And I think in 2012, if the Democrats had paid this time and attention to the Villages, they may have been able to stem some of the long-term bleed that we've seen in Sumter County, in Marion County, and in Lake County. But they didn't at that point. They're doing it now because it's fashionable and they think it shows that they're attentive to what's going on in Florida and that they're making inroads. But really what they need to focus on, and what they've needed to focus on since 2017, and I argued this very strongly on the Florida Squeeze website and got lots of pushback because we were told at the time, because of Hurricane Maria, all of these Puerto Ricans had moved to Florida, and that's where the focus should be. Don't worry about what you're seeing in the national change of address. Don't worry about what you're seeing in demographic changes in the suburban Tampa areas, suburban areas of Tampa, suburban areas of Jacksonville. Don't worry about what you're seeing in the exurbs. We've got this. Where they need to be focusing are places like Cape Coral, Northport, Palm Coast, Port St. Lucie, Palm Bay in Brevard County. The exurbs now are representing a huge chunk of the electorate in Florida. And just to explain to people who don't understand these exurbs, a lot of them are large places with populations of 100,000 or more. These are not rural areas. These are not traditional suburban areas. They're actually very heavily populated. They're densely populated, as you can see on some of these Google Earth images. And they are places that don't have a central downtown area. They don't have a central business district. They're just kind of sprawling residential areas. And the Republicans have been so successful and so aggressive at going into these areas and getting nonpartisan voters, NPA voters, to vote for them, registering new voters in these places and having them register for the first time in Florida as Republicans. They were not necessarily strong in their Republican identification before, but there was an organizational competence that the Republicans brought to their voter registration efforts and to their targeting efforts and identification of where they needed to find new voters. And so I'm glad the Democrats are campaigning in the Villages. I don't want to pretend like I'm not, but it's not the nirvana. It's not the be-all and end-all. In fact, it's important, but it's less important now than going to Northport in Sarasota County, which just got hit hard by Hurricane Milton, or going to Palm Bay in Brevard County, Palm Coast in Flagler County, Port St. Lucie, I think everybody knows about, another hard-hit place, obviously, by Hurricane Milton. So that's it. The Democrats are always behind in these demographic trends. They're always behind the Republicans in identifying voters in Florida. And this is why they continue to lose in this state. They lost the state. The Republicans didn't necessarily win the state. The Democrats handed the state over with their organizational incompetence, with their inability to look and understand demographic trends in the state, in a very transient state, and quite frankly, because they just can't read census data. I can't be more direct than that. So, yeah,